War Office panic. 1939 assessment. Invasion assumed. Home defense gap. Anti-tank shortage. Industrial delay. Emergency solutions, non-standard weapons. Blacker proposal accepted. Spigot-mortar concept. Captain Blacker design. Naval precedent adapted. Ground roll forced. Fixed emplacement required. Mobility disregarded. Weight prioritized. Steel mass excessive. Fear-driven engineering. Static defense doctrine. Home guard issue. Training minimal. Instruction pamphlets brief. Weapon classification secret. Morale concerns noted. Crew confidence low. Psychological stress observed. Recoil misunderstood early. Spigot impulse abnormal. Energy transfer vertical. Foundation critical. Concrete requirements specified. Soil testing ignored. Improvised pits common. Ground failure frequent. Mount collapse reported. Crew injury recorded. Backblast absent. Forward shock severe. Blast overpressure local. Hearing damage risk. Protective gear absent. Steel spigot diameter large. Spigot fixed. Barrel absent. Projectile hollow. Bomb fin stabilized. Explosive charge limited. Armor penetration theoretical. Angle sensitive effect. Contact fuse unreliable. Early fuses delayed. Later fuses simplified. Manufacturing tolerances loose. Casting quality uneven. Explosive fill inconsistent. Weight variation problematic. Ballistic tables crude. Range estimation poor. Sights rudimentary. Traverse limited. Elevation fixed steps. Fine adjustment impossible. Target tracking absent. Moving armor unrealistic. Doctrine static ambush. Roadblocks assumed. Urban choke points. Rural lanes targeted. Emplacement permanence. Relocation impractical. Disassembly slow. Crane assistance needed. Transport denied. Rail priority refused. Local delivery improvised. Civilian vehicles requisitioned. Damage frequent. Mount bolts sheared. Welds cracked. Inspection rare. Quality control weak. Acceptance rushed. Proof firing limited. Range safety marginal. Fragment hazards high. Crew spacing enforced, yet often ignored. Reports suppressed. Negative feedback filtered. Command optimism maintained. Comparisons avoided. PI-8 development parallel. Resources split. Blacker retained. Political pressure heavy. Visibility low. Public knowledge restricted. Training film scarce. Manuals vague. Terminology confusing. Mortar label misleading. Anti-tank role ambiguous. Operational value questioned. Armor penetration inconsistent. Angle dependence critical. Sloped armor defeated device. Thin armor perforated. Post-penetration effect limited. Explosive mass small. Crew kill uncertain. Tank disablement rare. Track damage possible. Engine damage unlikely. Accuracy poor. Recoil. Shock violent. Foundation uplift observed. Anchor rods bent. Concrete fractured. Spigot oscillation measured. Damping absent. Design revisions minimal. Production continued. Stockpiles accumulated. Field usage minimal. Exercises curtailed. Accident reports increased. Injuries understated. Medical notes classified. Morale impact negative. Crew refusal incidents. Disciplinary threats issued. Command confidence eroded. Alternative weapons preferred. Blacker sidelined gradually. No formal withdrawal. Silent neglect applied. Post-war disposal quiet. Documentation limited. Lessons unpublicized. Spigot concept abandoned. Legacy awkward. Engineering cautionary. Archived correspondence expanded. File references scattered. Minutes incomplete. Redactions common. Design authority unclear. Responsibility diffused. Royal engineers consulted. Feedback delayed. Modifications rejected. Weight reduction proposed. Proposal dismissed. Steel availability cited. Foundry capacity misused. Machining overkill specified. Tolerance margins excessive. Bolt diameters oversized. Threads coarse. Fastener fatigue ignored. Vibration studies absent. Stress calculations rudimentary. Empirical testing favored. Test firings few. Data recording inconsistent. Instrumentation unavailable. Peak force guessed. Impulse duration unknown. Recoil path mischaracterized. Ground coupling assumed ideal. soil heterogeneity ignored, clay failure frequent, sand liquefaction noted, gravel displacement observed, water ingress problematic, drainage omitted, seasonal effects ignored, winter frost cracking, spring subsidence, summer drying shrinkage, mount misalignment reported, site offset introduced, accuracy degraded further, correction impossible, crew improvisation common, shims added, wedges hammered, alignment temporary, repeatability lost, maintenance guidance absent, lubrication unspecified, corrosion advanced, paint layers thin, storage outdoors typical, weather exposure constant, rust seizure frequent, spigot extraction difficult, bomb seating inconsistent, misfires recorded, hangfire protocols vague, clearing procedures unsafe, delayed detonation risk, crew proximity dangerous, protective shields absent, blast deflectors non-existent, fragment scatter radial, range danger underestimated, safety arcs ignored, bystander injuries logged, civilian complaints filed, local authorities pressured, silence enforced, press embargo applied, photographs restricted, training cadres overstretched, instructor familiarity low, technical understanding minimal, mechanical explanation simplified, physics omitted, confidence further reduced, psychological load documented, anticipatory stress high, firing hesitation common, trigger pull delayed, command impatience noted, discipline substituted, effectiveness metrics absent, kill probability unknown, doctrine unsupported, tactical manuals thin, enemy tank models outdated, armor data inaccurate, German upgrades unaccounted, penetration assumptions obsolete, angle tables wrong, impact velocity misestimated, drag ignored, fin stability marginal, yaw on exit observed, trajectory unpredictable, wind sensitivity high, crosswind deflection severe, range brackets coarse, lead impossible, moving targets dismissed, static ambush fantasy, urban rubble interference, debris obstruction common, emplacement concealment poor, silhouette obvious, camouflage inadequate, enemy counterfire lethal, crew survivability low, egress impossible, position abandonment unrealistic, doctrine failed to adapt, feedback loops broken, procurement inertia dominant, cancellation politically risky, admittance avoided, resource sunk cost, production momentum maintained, warehousing expanded, inventory accounting opaque, losses written off, post-invasion threat reduced, strategic relevance declined, alternative weapons matured, PRT adoption accelerated, comparative trials avoided, Blacker quietly sidelined, training emphasis reduced, ammunition distribution halted, live firing discouraged, storage continued, disposal deferred, scrap value low, post-war demobilization, record sealed, institutional embarrassment contained, technical lessons buried, spigot stigma remained, future designs cautious, engineering conservatism reinforced, surviving examples examined, museum accession later, documentation fragmentary, serial records missing, batch identification unclear, production lots mixed, contractors unnamed, subcontracting extensive, oversight minimal, inspection staff limited, war urgency cited, deviation approvals routine, change orders informal, drawings inconsistently updated, field mods undocumented, version control absent, interchangeability compromised, spare parts mismatched, replacement delays common, cannibalization practiced, operational readiness variable, reporting channels confused, home guard hierarchy loose, regular army oversight thin, authority disputes frequent, responsibility evaded, safety accountability blurred, accident attribution avoided, language softened, terms diluted, casualty classification vague, training injuries minimized, permanent damage ignored, long-term effects unknown, hearing loss untracked, concussion unreported, medical follow-up absent, legal liability avoided, civil compensation rare, weapon insurance non-existent, risk accepted implicitly, fear normalized, crew rotation suggested, implementation rare, volunteer availability limited, fatigue accumulated, readiness declined, morale surveys absent, anecdotal reports sidelined, command optimism persisted, paper effectiveness maintained, statistics selective, firing successes highlighted, failures omitted, internal memos cautious, external statements confident, contradictions unresolved, weapon demonstrations staged, controlled conditions favoured. Observers reassured, questions deflected, recoil explanations simplified, physics downplayed, engineering critique unwelcome, design loyalty protected, institutional pride involved, withdrawal politically sensitive, public confidence prioritised, enemy threat exaggerated, domestic reassurance needed, symbolic deterrence valued, actual lethality secondary, psychological presence emphasised, maps annotated, emplacement density overstated, coverage assumptions optimistic, overlap ignored, fire control non-existent, coordination absent, friendly fire risk real, identification procedures vague, night firing unsafe, illumination unavailable, target recognition poor, civil vehicle confusion, misidentification incidents logged, disciplinary action rare, confusion tolerated, doctrine static, adaptation slow, lessons delayed. Reports archived unread, post-war analysis minimal, official histories brief, technical annexes thin, failures reframed, contextual excuses cited, urgency blamed, time pressure invoked, alternative outcomes speculated, accountability avoided, design flaws normalized, future avoidance promised, yet institutional memory faded, repeat patterns observed, other projects similar, over-engineering persisted, fear-driven procurement repeated, lessons selectively learned, Blacker example muted, professional embarrassment lingering, academic study rare, public awareness limited, narrative controlled, artifacts silent, interpretation cautious, documentation gaps remain, evaluation incomplete, engineering judgment questioned, but never formally condemned, ambiguity preserved, weapon exists unresolved, post-war evaluations delayed, committee reviews shallow, technical audits absent, cost analysis incomplete, unit pricing obscured, accounting categories merged, research budgets blurred, development costs hidden, production overruns normalized, audit trails broken, procurement files closed, access restricted decades, release partial, context missing, engineer testimony absent, operator voices excluded, survivor interviews rare, oral history ignored, archival bias evident, success narratives favoured, failure minimized, comparative effectiveness unmeasured, enemy armor statistics missing, battlefield deployment negligible, no combat confirmation, claims theoretical, assumptions persistent, mathematical modelling crude, material science immature, explosive chemistry variable, filler stability uncertain, storage degradation possible, temperature sensitivity untested, humidity effects ignored, seal integrity poor, packaging basic, transport shocks frequent, fuse alignment disturbed, premature detonation risk, arming distance short, safety margins thin, doctrine warnings ignored, crew drills abbreviated, live rounds scarce, dry training dominant, reality mismatch severe, expectation collapse likely, confidence erosion cumulative, chain reactions observed, refusal contagion feared, command response punitive, morale further reduced, psychological burden quantified poorly, stress assessments absent, human factors unconsidered, ergonomics ignored, control placement awkward, trigger effort high, posture constrained, recoil anticipation intense, bracing inadequate, stance guidance vague, physical conditioning irrelevant, volunteer demographics varied, strength mismatch common, injury susceptibility increased, age factors ignored, medical screening minimal, risk stratification absent, accident clustering evident, pattern recognition delayed, corrective action slow, feedback suppression systemic, organizational learning weak, blame avoidance dominant, innovation discouraged, alternative spigot uses explored, none adopted, naval lineage misapplied, context mismatch obvious, land constraint severe, operational environment hostile, design rigidity absolute, flexibility non-existent, incremental improvement blocked, standardization rigid, deviation punished, field ingenuity penalized, adaptive solutions lost, opportunity cost high, resource diversion significant, engineering talent misallocated, time lost irrecoverable, strategic patience thin, emergency mindset entrenched, crisis logic persistent, normal standards suspended, temporary measures permanent, exit criteria undefined, sunset clauses absent, weapon lingered, quiet retirement gradual, disposal undocumented, scrapping dispersed, metal reclaimed anonymously, identity erased, lessons diluted, professional memory selective, institutional narrative stabilized, controversy avoided, critical appraisal rare, modern reassessment cautious, historiography fragmented, technical curiosity niche, public discussion muted, educational value underused, engineering curricula omit, case studies scarce, failure analysis minimal, success bias enduring, systemic causes obscured, individual blame avoided, structural flaws persist, repetition risk remains, Blacker stands example, but unnamed, unexamined, late declassification incomplete, files partially released, annotations missing, pagination inconsistent, cross-references broken, index unreliable, technical appendices absent, schematics redacted, dimensions inferred, measurements approximate, spigot length excessive, mass concentrated forward, center of gravity fixed, moment arm large, stress amplification high, impulse coupling inefficient, energy dissipation poor, structural damping absent, elastic rebound severe, ground shock measurable, nearby structures cracked, civil property damage noted, compensation denied, liability deflected, local councils burdened, legal correspondence terse, claims rejected routinely, precedent avoided, policy silence maintained, weapon status ambiguous. Neither frontline nor reserve, training classification unclear, funding channel uncertain, command ownership disputed, Royal Artillery distant, engineers reluctant, Home Guard isolated, support minimal, technical advisors scarce, spare stocks uneven, ammunition aging unmanaged, shelf life unknown, chemical stability unverified, periodic testing omitted, lot recall impossible, identification markings faded, labeling inconsistent, safety notices outdated, reissue uncontrolled, redistribution ad hoc, inventory drifted, records diverged, physical counts rare, paper strength overstated, reality unverified, inspection tours staged, problem units avoided, whistleblowers discouraged, career risk implicit, silence rational, technical dissent costly, consensus artificial, decision inertia dominant, re-evaluation postponed, crisis justification lingered, institutional comfort prioritized, operational truth secondary, metrics selected carefully, ambiguity exploited, responsibility diffused widely, no single owner, failure orphaned. Success claimed abstractly, evidence thin, counterfactual reliance heavy, what if arguments favoured, reality deferred, weapon mythology grew, symbolic resistance narrative, practical assessment absent, fear management goal, psychological reassurance official, crew psychology neglected, irony unaddressed, stress inflicted internally, deterrence inward, external effect minimal, engineering paradox evident, overbuild undermined utility, mass reduced mobility, fixity increased risk, recoil misunderstood fundamentally, physics misapplied, empiricism insufficient, feedback ignored, iteration stalled, design frozen early, path dependent strong, exit blocked, alternative sidelined, opportunity missed, institutional learning slow, war urgency excuse accepted, post-war reflection shallow, archive gaps persist, scholarly access limited, technical reconstruction difficult, survivor artifacts scarce, context eroded, interpretation cautious, critique softened, professional embarrassment remains, formal condemnation avoided, legacy unresolved, weapon remembered obliquely, mention brief, analysis rare, case study neglected, failure normalized historically, systemic drivers overlooked, procurement culture unchanged, emergency logic recurring, future parallels possible, lessons partial, warnings muted, engineering humility lacking, documentation cautionary, Blacker Bombard persists as artifact, as warning.